feel good.
Good morning and welcome to Positively Milwaukee. She's arguably the most famous young poet in the world, and a woman from the Milwaukee area helped Amanda Gorman find her voice. But Dinah Berland knew all along she was working with a natural talent.
We are striving to forge our union with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man.
It was a tough assignment for any writer. Find words of hope after a deadly pandemic, deep political division, and a capital insurrection.
While democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated.
But Amanda Gorman found the words when she became the youngest inaugural poet in U.S. history with her reading of The Hill We Climb.
We, the successors of a country and a time where a skinny black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother, can dream of becoming president, only to find herself reciting for one.
A Shorewood native knew Gorman years before the young poet's international acclaim. Award-winning poet, author, and editor Dinah Berland graduated from Shorewood High School in 1959. She calls Milwaukee the place of her youth and has a fondness for her hometown. She loves the lake, the architecture, and still returns to visit friends and relatives. Berland now lives in Los Angeles. I talked to her on Zoom about her star pupil. Did you know when you first met Amanda that she was somebody special?
Oh, absolutely. There was no question.
Berland met Gorman through a group called Right Girl, which pairs mentors with teens.
Well, I got a call from one of the organizers, and they said, I think we have the perfect mentor for you. Her name is Amanda Gorman.
That just has to feel spectacular, knowing you played a part in her success.
Well, I'm just thrilled for her. You know, I don't really take any credit because she was already very accomplished. I'm happy that I was able to bring those things to her, and I'm just gratified to have her as a friend. I think of her as a friend now.
How long ago was it that you actually mentored her?
I mentored her formally through graduation of high school, and then after that, we continued to see each other. She came to my house. I went to some events at her place. And then I met her in Washington, D.C. when she gave her talk as the National Youth Poet Laureate. Unfortunately, her mother couldn't make it because she teaches, and it was at the beginning of the semester. So Amanda invited me as her special guest.
Berland recalls a teen of poise, confidence, and natural talent.
We stayed in this nice little Georgetown hotel where she dressed and put on her makeup, all the while listening to Hamilton on her phone. And then we took a fancy Uber car to the Library of Congress, and that's where that picture was taken that I sent to you. She gave a reading that just was a knockout, and she got a standing ovation. The type of poem that she does so well and excels at is called an occasional poem, a poem for an event. That's not the only thing she writes, but she excels at that.
Berland, a retired senior editor for Getty Newspapers, has published poems in dozens of literary magazines. She describes her approach in working with Amanda Gorman.
She was already very accomplished as a poet, but I thought it would be great if she didn't know her heritage of African-American poets, if I could bring that to her. That would be special. And also, the other thing that I wanted to bring to her was something that I had learned in graduate school, which is reading like a writer. And that means reading a poem, figuring out what the poet was doing, and do it yourself. She knows how to understand what it is that she's speaking toward. And, you know, she majored in sociology at Harvard and graduated cum laude. And so she has a big vision. She has a sense of the world and her place in it. And it's a very expansive place. So when she came to be the inaugural poet, it just seemed right. She was the right person, especially after all the violence,
Yes.
you know, and all the struggle of African American people. Now, there is this lovely girl, and she acknowledges her own background right in the poem. You know, a skinny black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother. How perfect and beautiful that is.
Do you have any advice for people of any age who might want to start a career in writing? What should they do first off?
Well, first you have to read. If you don't know what to read, find a class, something like a university class.
Believe it or not, Dinah Burland is approaching 80 years old. Though she published many poems throughout her life, she published her first book of poetry, Fugue for a New Life, in her 70s. This soft-spoken woman still sets goals and has a clear life purpose.
To know who I am and be able to use my whatever gifts I may have been given to help others.
And Dinah Burland has done just that, sharing herself with a young lady who captivated our hearts with words and grabbed our souls.
When I learned about it, that she was going to do it, it was just like it was clicking into place. This is for her. She is the right person to be the inaugural poet.
That even as we hurt, we hoped, that even as we tired, we tried, that we'll forever be tied together, victorious. Not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division.
And Burland says nothing is as gratifying as helping young people pursue their passions, and it shows. A Milwaukee dancer and teacher is blazing a trail for others. Katie Crowther brings us Fern Caulker's story of following a dream that lifts others, but it began thousands of miles away in Africa.
With powerful beats and passionate movements, Kothi Dance Company has been trying to bridge a cultural gap in Milwaukee for 52 years. Kothi was created by Fern Caulker, who was always drawn to dance. Fern moved to Milwaukee from Sierra Leone when she was a teenager. While in school here, she noticed something was missing.
We covered every other culture on the planet but Africa. So much has been omitted about people of color.
That set her on her path of using her love of African dance and culture to educate. But doing so as a young woman of color in the 1960s was not easy.
What they told me was not to waste my time because basically Milwaukee was a German city and it would never fly to have an African dance company in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Fern followed the beat of her own heart, and Kothi is now one of the longest running African dance companies in the country.
Where you are, you plant your roots and you build. Our focus is to reach as many young children as possible, to get them to see African Americans who are very proud of who they are, what the potential can be, and to be able to communicate that through this beautiful form that transcends race.
Beyond the success of Kothi, Fern created a whole new major within UWM's dance department, performance and choreography of the African diaspora, and has mentored so many young women along the way, earning her the nickname Mama Fern. One of her students now helping lead Kothi.
My mission is that every young person should get to know their identity and stop running away from it and embrace it.
In many ways, dance saved Sonia Thompson, who became a mom at 16. On a whim, she attended one of Fern's classes.
Got on that dance floor and I said, oh, I'm free. This was my let out. It was like, whoo.
Through healing movement, with Mama Fern as a mentor, Sonia learned to really value her heritage and love every part of herself.
She's an elder to me that pushes you to your highest limitations of where you want to be as a person, or how you even look at yourself as a person. Your skin is your skin, live in it. And I tell other young girls, live into your shape.
If you see it, you can be it. I wanted to be the kind of woman that would hold her up and any other women that I could hold up. That's what it's really all about.
A legacy of culture and caring that continues on thanks to one woman's vision.
Yes, Fern is a community icon. And this is a great reminder to be proud of who you are and just love every part of you. Still ahead, some things in life really are free. We're going to explain in Positively Milwaukee and how two brothers from Brookfield are inspiring change in a world, and they are very young. Welcome back. Writing a book is a major feat at any age, and it's even more amazing to do it before you're a teenager. Sarah McGrew talked to a young brother duo about the important message behind their newly released book.
I like to think I know every tree separating my street from the park.
At just 8 and 12 years old, Zion and Zephaniah can now add published authors to their resumes.
I think my favorite part was producing it and bringing it out into the world.
Their book, Selah's Bridge, was released earlier this year, and it takes on some pretty big topics like racism, prejudice, and striving for a better world. The children's chapter book is about two friends, Ami and Selah, who look very different and live across a river from each other. But Ami's dad won't let her cross the log bridge to Selah's side because he thinks that neighborhood is full of criminals and is dangerous.
One day, the friend's dad cuts down a log that allows the two children to cross over the river.
The book is a reflection of the racism and prejudice that still exists in our world.
I really wanted to write this book so that more people would be informed about what's happening.
They hope the book helps people see a new perspective and learn about people who are different from themselves.
Try to think about other people's feelings and not just yours.
So are Ami and Selah able to rebuild the bridge, and can they help Ami's dad see past his biases?
You have to read the book.
But readers can definitely expect some activism and civic action to come from the two friends.
Everyone can make a change in the world, and it's just having enough dedication to do it.
And it's clear that Zion and Zephaniah are already doing just that. In fact, they're giving back some of the proceeds from the book, donating to businesses that support positive images of children of color.
Smart young man. And we'll have information on where you can buy a copy of that book. Just go to tmj4.com. A former world record holder and Olympian, Sue Anderson, was breaking glass ceilings before she graduated high school, and that makes her even more ready for the upcoming Summer Games. Delaney Bry has that story.
Growing up in New Jersey, Sue had a passion to compete.
I probably was driving my father crazy because I wanted to play football and I wanted to play baseball and I wanted to do all the things my brother could do, and it was not allowed.
Ahead of her time, swimming was one of the only outlets for female athletes. However, Sue's family still had to drive almost an hour away to a pool and a coach that would train her.
It was difficult at times. There were no high school programs for girls. New Jersey doesn't readily have high school pools.
Despite logistical obstacles, Sue thrived. In 1963, she set a FINA world record in the 200 meters butterfly. Making the Olympic team in 1964, you may expect to see a gold medal. But even the Olympics had to grow toward gender equality.
There were fewer events for women than there were for men in 1964. That was evened out in 1968. Women got the same events as men, but so there were fewer opportunities to make the team, and my best event wasn't offered.
Racing as an alternate in the relay, Sue swam to qualify the U.S. for the finals in 64. Serving as a co-team captain in 68. In today's world, she would have also received a gold medal for her efforts.
Back then, only the ones that swam in the finals get medals. So there are places where I'm listed as a gold medalist, but you can look around, there is no gold medal here.
Even when Sue was recognized for her ability, named New Jersey's Amateur Athlete of the Year, gender was still an issue.
There's a lovely picture of me standing being handed this award. It's in the lobby of a restaurant because I wasn't allowed to attend the actual event. My father went to the actual event to, quote unquote, accept my award.
Lucky for us, Sue Anderson and others never let society stop them from competing. And while Sue gives credit to Title IX for opportunities her own daughters were able to take advantage of,
yes, things have changed So much for the better. My 2 daughters went to Penn State as scholarship swimmers. So, in that way, I guess I got my revenge. But
There's a binder full of photos that gives credit to a young woman who had a passion to win.
Love that. And Sue's passion paved the way for many others to reach their goals. When women come together, we can create magic. More than 20 female-owned businesses provided food and comfort for local women in need and their families. Tony Atkin was at the Free Food Festival last weekend. It's in the heart of Sherman Park.
From pizza to pasta, wraps, and everything in between, from the tables to the food trucks, a free bite to eat wasn't hard to come by at the Sherman Phoenix Sunday afternoon.
Pizza, there's chicken quesadillas, and then I have some wings from Buffalo Boss.
Brittany Lucas was one of hundreds leaving the Free Food Festival happy. The 5-hour-long festival was put together by more than 20 women-owned businesses for the community. The event funded through an $80,000 grant from nonprofit World Central Kitchen.
They had funding for International Women's Month, and they wanted to support women-owned businesses, so that's what we did today.
A lot of us still out here, fighting this and everything, and it's good for, when people help you.
Cynthia Baker brought her granddaughter Mackenzie outside for a bite to eat and to enjoy the sunny weather. She was happy young Mackenzie saw other strong women helping one another.
That means that it's strong women out here that's surviving together.
Yeah.
We all sticking together and surviving together.
400 sandwiches in 42 minutes gone.
At Rise and Grind Cafe, the sandwiches kept coming. As staff made them in a kitchen, young volunteers with the Young Women's nonprofit Glow would run them out to whoever wanted or needed them.
We just make sure we pass our waters, chips, subs, things like that.
A community effort for everyone. A team of women coming together to support a community who supported them through the unforeseen.
That's why GLOW stands for Girls Learning to Become Outstanding Women, because women, we rock.
You gotta love that. And a reminder, join me every Wednesday at 12:30 for Lunch with Carol Meekins. It's a Facebook Live where you'll meet inspirational people from all over our area. They make Milwaukee better. They make us smile, like these 2 darlings of daytime TV. The Morning Blend's Molly Faye and Tiffany Ogle talked to me, and we had some fun and a lot of laughs, and important information was imparted. So join me every Wednesday at 12:30. Coming up, our reasons to smile for the week, plus high marks why a local group decided to lift up a group of teachers after this. Welcome back. Teachers and staff at the Elmbrook School District got an end-of-the-week boost recently. They were surprised with a free breakfast from Goddess and the Baker. Now, this is all part of a partnership between the Corners of Brookfield and the Elmbrook Education Foundation. Elizabeth Clappier says it's important to thank educators for their hard work this year.
They get a muffin, a fruit, some little goodies, some juice, and then we're dropping off coffee for them as well. So we've known it's been a hard year for them. We want to make them feel special and know how much we appreciate them.
Meals were delivered to over 1,300 teachers, bus drivers, and front office workers, and that effort, of course, gets an A+. Very nice. 2 Wisconsin organizations teaming up to help local teens discover careers in science, technology, engineering, and math. It's the Fearless Dreamer Scholarship. It's a joint venture by American Family Insurance and the Milwaukee Brewers. 5 graduating seniors in Milwaukee can earn $2,500 per year for up to 4 years. Students of color are encouraged to apply, and there are plenty of other benefits worth smiling about.
This helps fill our tech talent gap. It helps us achieve our Free to Dream initiative to close equity gaps. And it helps us, in general, make our Milwaukee community a more competitive talent workplace for our youth and for our community.
Absolutely. And outfielder Christian Yelich will also contribute $35,000 to this STEM scholarship program. The application process is now open, and you have until April 26th if you're a student and you want to apply. Visit tmj4.com/links for more information. Girls' Day at City Hall went virtual this year because of the pandemic, but the focus was still on empowering young women. Milwaukee Alderwoman Malele Coggs started this event to encourage careers in public service. The event features speakers who highlight the obstacles that women might have to overcome. Stay with us. I'll be right back with my quote of the week. Welcome back to Positively Milwaukee. Our quote of the week comes from one of our founding fathers, George Washington. He said, quote, "The bosom of America is open to receive not only the opulent and respectable stranger, but the oppressed and persecuted of all nations and religions." And George Washington's words are something to reflect on today. Thank you for joining us on Positively Milwaukee this Easter Sunday. Have a great week, and don't forget, stay positive.